You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever team, 386-690-1636.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello, Night Nation. This is Andrew Phegley with you from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw, assisting injured veterans to get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. You can also call us at 844-580-WDBO, 844-580-9326. Or you can use the open mic feature on the WDBO app. Once again, I am AP_Knightline, or Andrew Phegley, on Twitter, AP_Knightline. Got Big Ben Stout here with me. He is at Big Social 32 on Twitter as well. We're talking UCF sports. This is Knightline at Night. Wow, you know, a week has gone by, and what's going on with UCF sports? It's crazy. It's champions everywhere, so we got to play this.
Yeah.
We are the champions. We are the champions.
Man, I mean, scoring American Conference championships left and right.
We just keep racking
It's
them up,
crazy.
man. It's awesome.
Well, this is exactly, I mean, I know Danny White's not around anymore. Now we have Terry Mahajer, but Danny White talked about this, and he was here for 5 years, I think. 5 years?
5 years,
5
yeah,
years.
a little over.
This is what his master plan was. So I think it's coming to fruition. He's just not here to see it.
Yeah.
So now we had volleyball, American champions.
That's right.
Men's soccer, American champions, which is really big because it's a good soccer conference.
Mm-hmm.
Women's tennis, men's tennis.
Yeah.
And who knows what else? There's still some sports playing that could easily win those American championships too.
No doubt.
So what a year it's turned out to be. Now football needs to catch up and win the American championship again.
Yeah, 2021, though, since we turned the page on 2021, I mean, it's been, you mentioned, Danny White and Terry Mahajer. I mean, Terry Mahajer, he didn't have much to do with it, but since he's been here, four conference championships that you just mentioned there, 4 American Conference championships. You mentioned men's and women's tennis. If I'm not mistaken, I think both of those teams are in the top 10 in the country right now. I mean, we're talking not just American Conference championships there. We're talking real national title contenders. That's quite interesting as well. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and break down men's and women's tennis. I'm not going to pretend that I know in the ins and outs of that program. But I mean, John Roddick and what he's kind of produced there, he's just that's just a juggernaut of a program. Their men's tennis programs, our men's tennis programs, great, and then their women's as well. I mean, it's awesome that both of them won the conference championship.
I think we may have forgot. Didn't women's golf, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Women's golf or men's golf, one of those two. Like I'm almost positive one of those teams won the American as well.
We'll have to we'll look that up. Yeah.
Let me look here.
We'll have to look that up. Yeah.
But anyway, I think one of them is also. I know a couple of them are on the all conference team. A couple of the women, Anna Laura Collado. And, oh, boy, Turenda Pidden. I don't know how to say that. I may be saying that completely wrong. Tunrada Pidden, I think.
Gotcha.
Oh, Knights finished 4th in the AAC championship for women's golf, but 2 of them are on the all-conference team. Sorry, I was wrong.
Okay.
I know that they're in, I don't know, the men, I think, maybe they're the ones that are in the tournament or something. I don't know. But anyway. still, it's hard to keep track of all
It
these
is.
sports because we focus so much on football.
Right.
It's not that we're dumb or anything like that. It's just really hard to focus on all this stuff when you're trying to get as much information about football and stuff as you can. So,
Yeah, well, it's good that we're leading off the show tonight talking about this because these sports do deserve recognition. I mean, we mentioned four sports that have won the conference championship. I think two of those are real national title contenders, which is awesome to say about any UCF sports team. And then this Sunday at 5 p.m. against number 17 James Madison is the men's soccer tournament.
Did you see the shot that they took at us, by the way?
No, I didn't see
Oh
it.
boy, did they ever take a shot. So on their page, I think it was on their James Madison webpage, and their school or soccer webpage, they said something about, they were playing UCF and like, how they've been in the tournament like 15 times or something like that consecutively or whatever. And then they didn't even say if we beat UCF, they said, the next game after UCF will be this.
Oh, geez.
So they totally took a shot. Now, and that upsets me a little bit because I actually root for them in the FBS or FCS football.
Right.
Because we've got a guy that I loved and I love his family. Juwan Hamilton plays for them and is a running back on their football team and does an incredible job. He was a Scott Frost second year guy, or maybe the first year even. So
I think so. Yeah, I think he was.
He's
the first
got
year.
an extra year because he had to sit out or something.
Yeah,
was hurt, broke his ankle playing Maryland, and basically was almost the last time maybe that we saw him play for UCF. Maybe a little bit after that. Yeah. But really good kid, really good family, and I root for them. So I kind of took that as like a low blow from them at UCF because, they got one of our good running backs.
Real quick, I will say about Juwan Hamilton, he actually just broke the FCS playoff record. He had the longest play. Yeah,
it was insane.
Yeah, it was. I saw it. Yeah, it was insane. It was nuts.
It was a handoff about 3 or 4 yards deep in the end zone.
In their own end zone, yeah.
All the way down, and nobody was even close to catching him.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like a 99-yard run, basically.
Awesome. It was probably more, I don't know what the record
when he actually touched the ball. Yeah, it's a longer run, yeah. But yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, so James Madison, though, their men's soccer team, I don't know their exact record. I do know they're undefeated, which, these NCAA tournaments seem to love to give UCF undefeated matchups in the first round because our volleyball team got that as well when they got knocked out in the first round. But our team has been good enough, and as you said, the American Conference is very well respected in men's soccer, and for us to win that is a big deal. And then on top of that, we got the respect of a first round bye. I don't recall. I don't have the bracket in front of me. There's a limited amount of teams in the NCAA tournament for men's soccer, and so for us to get a first round bye, we'll be matched up against James Madison. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I was just, I'm a FCS football fan as well.
Yeah.
I love the tournament.
Yeah.
Number one, they do it correctly. This is the way that it should be done.
It's an actual
playoff. It's a tournament. There's a bracket, that doesn't just include 4 people, which is totally ridiculous, or 4 teams. So, that's coming up in the next couple of weeks if you, are jonesing for a little bit of football action. It's been really good this year. They've played kind of a shortened season. It's technically the 2020 season that they're playing because FCS really didn't play. 15 teams from the FCS played last year, but they didn't play conference games. They just played their non-conference games, I believe. So these are all the rest of them as well. And they've been playing the spring season.
Yeah, they're playing like a spring football season. That's interesting.
And it's abbreviated as well because I believe they're going to still play a fall season. So North Dakota State is the number 1 seed, which I'm sorry, South Dakota State. See, I can't even say it because it's so weird.
Yeah, the Jackrabbits.
Yeah, North Dakota State's normally the Bison are normally the ones that are the big dog. But it's South Dakota State this year, so it's all very odd. but I love the format. It's into the quarterfinals now this week. Saturday is the quarterfinal games. There's 4 games on, and if you have a chance, ESPN2 to watch James Madison in North Dakota.
Gotcha.
Not North Dakota State, but North Dakota. It'll be a good game. ESPN2, I believe. I have that marked because I want to watch Jawan. For some reason, James Madison does not get on ESPN very often. They're on some weird. The rest of these games, I've watched every North Dakota State game this year, and probably most of the other games. I've watched a lot of those football, games. So
yeah, a lot of them are on regional TV and
yeah,
stuff
most
like
of them
that.
have been on ESPN3 this year. But James Madison must have a deal with another network or something because none of their games have really been on ESPN, which is pretty odd. But anyway.
You mentioned earlier that a few more sports are going on that do have a chance of winning the
Softball.
AAC championship. Softball is one of them, and we definitely want to recognize Gianna Mancha, our number 2 ace. We have 2 aces on our squad in the circle, and Gianna Mancha tossed a no-hitter this week against Memphis, so that's a big deal. Her getting a no-hitter is pretty awesome, and we won 2 games against Memphis this week. Our softball team continues to roll. We even, if I'm not mistaken, did we win that game against Team USA a couple weeks ago?
I never really looked,
checked.
but I do know that we beat Florida. We swept Florida this year.
That's right. Yeah, that was a big deal. Top 5 team.
That was a huge deal.
Huge win.
And
even a team that's not necessarily doing very well this year, been very up and down. Our UCF baseball team, they did beat twice actually. They split the series between ECU, who's number 7 in the country this year. They're kind of the top of our conference. So that's another those 2 baseball softball is starting to roll at the right time.
The Team USA game was canceled.
Oh, okay.
Due to weather, I believe. Or something. For some reason it says on the schedule canceled.
That's a shame.
So maybe I can find canceled due to weather. So that's kind of a bummer. But it was, one of those weird non-conference things in the middle of
as an exhibition.
In the middle of
would have been cool if we could win it, but beating number 5 Florida, as you said, beating them and kind of beating them twice this year. So that's a big deal.
Once at home, once away.
Mm-hmm.
So they came here, we beat them. And we went there and we beat them as well. So, in fact, we shut them out. The number 5 team in the country shut them out at Gainesville.
That's a big
deal. So we went to their house and shut them out.
That's a big deal.
That's good. Wichita State obviously looks pretty good in softball. So the last time we played them, which was last week or the week before, we lost 3 games, and the 4th game was a 0-0 tie, believe it or not. So, which is really weird in softball to have that happen anyway. So maybe we were getting a little closer to actually, beating them. I'm not sure what happened there. We just swept Memphis last weekend. Got Ole Miss and South Florida, and that's it. And then on to the American Conference tournament. So
that's right. And finishing out the season beating the Cows at anything is also always
great.
And
that's the other thing. We won that championship, that I-4
men's tennis. Yeah, we also you're right. We also clinched the war on I-4
again. I mean, I think we've won it every year, haven't we?
We have ever since it officially started, and there's a trophy and all that. We have won.
I bet they're regretting starting that little rivalry thing. Yeah. All right. Well, we got to take a break. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night. Hang with us.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices, Altamont Springs.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Looking for more out of your Porsche? Look no further than Flat6Motorsports.com. They have the widest selection of aftermarket Porsche parts anywhere in the world. With over 85 product lines and in-depth expertise, Flat6Motorsports.com is your one-stop shop for any Porsche performance needs. Whether you're shopping for intakes, exhausts, suspension, or tuning, they have you covered. Flat6Motorsports.com is the premier Porsche aftermarket specialist. Check them out at Flat6Motorsports.com.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Nightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley. So great when the right music plays. Thank you, Ronald, back in the studio. Really appreciate that, just so you know. Anyway. We're back on Nightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw. I got Big Ben Stout here with me at Big Social 32 on Twitter. Roger Phipps also joins us at Night Bengal. And I am Andrew Phegley, AP_Nightline on Twitter. We're talking UCF sports. We talked a lot of UCF sports in the beginning of the show. A bunch of championships that we've won recently. But you have another one that you wanted to talk about that I must not be aware of.
Well,
it's something.
We were talking a lot in the first segment about sports that we don't usually go into depth on this show, and another one is UCF track and field. We don't really talk about too often. We had something very exciting happen this past weekend. Yeah, freshman Rainea Jones, and forgive me, Miss Jones, if I mispronounce your first name. Rainea Jones, she set a school record in the 100-meter hurdles with a personal best for her, 12.73 seconds. And that is actually the second fastest time in the nation this year, and a qualifying time to be able to move on and try to qualify for the Olympics at one point. So that's a very big deal. And she's a freshman at UCF doing some big things. So she's one to keep an eye out. She already has the freshman record holder for the 100-meter dash. So she's moving right along. So
athlete of the week as well for her. Yeah, that's a big deal, especially to have a time to possibly have a chance to compete for the Olympics. That's a big deal.
Yeah, they called it a U.S. Olympic team qualifying time. So, yeah, it's a huge deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Really exciting.
We would love to have another UCF Olympian for sure.
Wouldn't that
would be
cool?
Awesome, yeah. Well, they're off to a good start anyway, the track and field team. I'm not sure of their schedule and all that stuff because track and field schedules are really weird, by the way. They just, they have all these. In fact, it's almost over. They have the UNF Invitational coming up this week, Thursday and Friday, and then it's the American Championship. So there we go. And then NCAA stuff after that if they qualify. So.
Right. They have the meets every weekend or so during the season, but it's not exactly you can look at their record like another sport. It's but they're doing big things this year, and especially Rainea Jones. That she seems to be a shining star on that squad.
There's also a couple of distance runners that are really good. I know that have done really well. Freshman and sophomore, I believe, that have really turned it on this year as far as that goes. So that's awesome. I love it when
the future is bright in all sports.
Yeah, when all these sports. Roger, you got anything to say, man? You've been away for a couple weeks here.
Welcome back, Roger.
Thank you. Unfortunately, work took precedence over joining the wonderful people of Night Nation, but I am excited to be back. And
I'd get another job if that's more important, to be honest with you.
I will say this, though. It does pay for my season tickets, so there you go.
Helpful.
I will say this, though. One of the topics we've been talking about is Brandon Moore, and I know it's kind of switching gears for football, but Brandon Moore's brother got offered officially. So, we're talking about news that's noteworthy. I know we were talking about that on the podcast, but I found that to be very exciting. in that we finally dropped that offer. So Gus, he went all the way around the state. He went into Georgia, and he came all the way back around home. So I'm excited about that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's news, I guess. Yeah. We're going to talk about football next segment, I think.
For sure.
We hadn't really gotten into that yet because that takes us down another rabbit hole, of talking. So
For sure.
we were trying to get all the rest of the stuff talked about, but there you go. Yeah. And I don't even know his I can't remember his name right now. It's
what position does he play, Roger?
It's Cam Moore.
That's right, Cam. I believe that he is a linebacker. Is that correct?
Correct. Outside linebacker, 6'2", 205. So super excited about him.
And he's supposed to be the best one of all of the Moore brothers.
How about that?
Yeah, which they wrote, a couple of them were really good. So supposedly, from what I hear from, a couple people there.
A bunch of different people.
I was thinking about giving away my sources, and then I was like, well, wait a second. Maybe
let me back off of that.
Maybe I shouldn't do that. So, yeah, but I've heard quite a bit about him. So
that's exciting
good.
News then.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that's exciting news. There's also more football transfer news that we're going to have to talk about here. Ricky Barber Jr. Coming in from, I can't remember where he comes from off the top of my head. WKU, so Western Kentucky. And that dude is going to be a huge influence on our defensive line.
Yeah.
Our defense is looking, and we're going to talk about this when we come back. Our defense is really looking like they're going to be special. Yeah. So, all right, so we're going to take a break here. We're going to be right back, and we'll talk about football and who knows what else. We'll have a Tijuana hot take of the week also. If you haven't figured it out yet, I love Tijuana Flats. I would love them even if they weren't a partner with us on the Knightline Sports Network. They have all kinds of great Tex-Mex food, and it's fresh, by the way. Made to order burritos, tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas, quesadillas, bowls, nachos, and taco salads. And if you haven't tried the queso, you are completely missing out. It is the best queso that I've ever had in my life. Absolutely hands down. And the sauce bar that they have, everything from wild to mild in there. Absolutely awesome, awesome stuff. Not only do I love the food at Tijuana Flats, but I love the company, a UCF-born company. And they give back to the community with the Justin Queso Foundation. So head to your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. Hey Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain? Or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Nightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call at 407-599-9036 or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. But we're taking your calls if you want to call us as well, 844-580-9326. 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. I'm Andrew Phegley again, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Got Big Ben Stout here with me at Big Social 32 and Roger Phipps at Night Bengal on Twitter. And you can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. I guess that we're talking UCF sports if you're just tuning in. It's what we talk about every week on Knightline at Night. And we've talked about track. We've talked about softball. We've talked about tennis, men's and women's. We've talked about soccer. We talked about volleyball a little bit. Now we're going to start talking about football a little bit more. All right. So if you're an NFL fan, the NFL draft becomes in session on Thursday night, 8:00, I believe, on probably NFL.com or maybe some other network. I'm not sure. ESPN. I don't know.
Yeah,
probably
it'll be on ESPN and NFL Network. Yep.
Okay. So we have 8 guys that are technically listed on NFL.com as being draft eligible and, with their names in the hat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to list them from rating given the grade given by the NFL on NFL.com of these guys. Aaron Robinson, 6.28. Richie Grant, 6.24. Trey Nixon, 6.0. Jacob Harris, 6.0. Marlon Williams, 5.67. Tay Gowan, 5.67 as well. Otis Anderson, 5.6. Greg McCrae, 5.4, which is really disappointing if you ask me. I don't know what happened during for Greg McCrae during the pro day. I think that really hurt him.
Yeah, his 40 time really hurt him.
There is a possibility that any of these guys with the number 6 in front of their grade, so 6.8, 6.24, 6.0, 6.0, 4 guys right here, Aaron Robinson, Richie Grant, Trey Nixon, and Jacob Harris, could get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
When you're at 6 and above, that's pretty much, developmental traits based prospect is what they say. And 6.1 and above is good backup who could become a starter. So you would think at least the top 2 guys, if not, those other 2.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other ones, unfortunately. I hope that somebody takes a chance on a couple of these guys. Otis Anderson as well. He's a little guy though. And that's his biggest, fault, I guess. Not his fault, but it's his biggest thing that's holding him back, because we all know that he's electric. We all know Greg McCrae's electric. So,
yeah, I think just the nature of the position, and his ranking within that position of cornerback, I think Tay Gowan has a chance, despite the ranking that you read off there being under 6. I think he's got a chance of being drafted. Todd McShay put out his kind of like a final draft rankings today, positional rankings, and had in the cornerback position had Aaron Robinson as the 11th ranked cornerback in all of the draft, and Tay Gowan at number 13. So right there within it. And then Richie Grant for the safety position, he had him as his number 3 ranked safety in the entire NFL draft. So that's a big deal there. The only other player from UCF that got ranked in a positional ranking was actually Trey Nixon on the wide receiver side, but it was in the 90s for wide receivers. He was kind of like just on the edge of the list. I think his 40 time and his speed could potentially get him drafted. And then Jacob Harris's measurables might be able to get him a late round pick as well.
Just his pro day.
His pro day was unbelievable.
Which was technically the combine, I guess, this year, because that's the way they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, he is an incredible athlete, and he showed it during that. And I'm sure he opened some eyes. And somebody, I believe, will take a chance on him. I don't know if it's going to be in the 7 rounds.
Right.
I think it's going to be after that. But somebody's going to get a deal as long as they can teach him how to catch.
Right.
Because he does not catch the ball very good. He's a wide receiver. You got to kind of
it's
be
kind
able
of
to catch the
important
ball.
to catch the ball
Yeah.
as a wide receiver. Yeah.
We've seen all kinds of things from Jacob Harris over the years. When he did catch it, it was awesome, but a lot of times he didn't. So, and I like the guy. I'm not trying to dog him. I'm being honest, and I tell the truth.
Yeah, no.
A lot of people don't like me because I tell the truth. I'm telling the truth here. It's not that I'm trying to dog the guy.
It was a
just-
real struggle for him this year. It was a lot of drops.
Yeah.
Well, I know he also a lot of people were talking about him as a tight end because of his height and speed. I would say that he needs to put on a few pounds to be able to do that. But apparently, some of his blocking has opened up some eyes, and you know, in the NFL, there is so much use of the tight ends these days. Unfortunately, we didn't use them in the past as much as we probably should have. But there's a lot of use of the tight ends, and a lot of people are projecting him as kind of one of these picks that's in the 6th, 7th round that people take a chance on and try to convert to another position. So he's definitely got the measurables. He's got the speed. Again, the hands are one of his challenges. But to kind of tag on to what you guys are saying, how do you guys feel about Tay Gowan? I mean, for me, he's kind of, again, picking up some speed and picking up some buzz again lately based on his tape that he did have. Again, he sat out last year. But what about the prospect of having 3 cornerbacks potentially drafted in the various rounds?
It's possible, but I mean, him sitting out last year probably hurt his prospects a lot.
And
not having any tape from last year for any of these guys to watch.
And he came from junior college before that, right? So he really only has one good year of tape. Now, it was a good year. He made some great plays for us, that's for sure. In that 1 year, I think sitting out might hurt him, but I'm going to look at this optimistically. I think the 3 defensive backs, and then Trey Nixon and Jacob Harris are all going to get drafted. That'd be 5. That'd be the most in UCF history in a single draft. We've done 4 twice. And I do think on, starting Thursday night, obviously not on Thursday night, but, moving into the Friday and Saturday, Sunday.
They list Tay Gowan as a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
If he gets picked on NFL.com. Hey, we got a phone call here that I want to take. Tony is on the line. Tony, are you there, my friend?
Yeah. How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's going on? What's on your mind tonight? Thank you for calling.
Hey, 2 things. First thing is Brandon Moore's brother finally got that UCF offer, so I'm happy about that.
We just mentioned that.
Yeah.
This is
I just jumped on the radio, so sorry if I
on
missed
Twitter,
that.
correct?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, yeah, you're cool, man. I like you.
So I'm glad we got that sorted out. But that's not the main reason I called. I didn't know you mentioned that, so that's cool. I'm glad you guys did.
Yeah, we just talked about it in the segment before, just real quick. But yes, I'm glad that they came around and got him an offer.
Absolutely. So I was at the Orlando Touchdown Club yesterday, so I got to meet Coach Gus and I got to hear him speak. And my biggest takeaway from that is that his facial expression really went down when he was talking about scheduling. He was saying that he figured it'd be like teams didn't want to play us, but he didn't realize until he's here now that teams do not want to play us. And like I said, his facial expression really blew me away, that he said he's going to call his connections and he's trying to push some of his connections to get them to play us, but it's seeming really hard than it is.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to the point, taking away from that the next couple of years, I really don't care who we play, even if it's Arkansas State, wherever it is. Even if we play Alabama away, I hear some of the fan base complaining. We can't complain right now. It seems like nobody wants to play us, so we got to take what we can. So that's really what I want to talk about.
Exactly. Yeah, they're scared. They're scared to play UCF. There's no reason they would want to play UCF because we're the ones that could beat them and make them look like fools.
Yeah.
At any given time. I mean, anybody. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Alabama or, God forbid, Kansas. I mean, those are the 2, top and the bottom, I guess, if you want to talk about the Power 5. Maybe Vanderbilt down in there too. Yeah.
I'm glad he's calling and he gives us this insight from the Touchdown Club speech, right? Because I mean that's Gus Malzahn being on the other side of it, right? He kind of doesn't realize what it's like to be a UCF, a top tier, quote unquote G5 program that other teams don't want to play in that kind of upper echelon, hoity-toity club. And so
Gus Malzahn should understand that, though, because we beat him in a bowl game and made him look horrible.
True. I'm just saying, being on the other side of it is he really is realizing now what's going on.
Well, being on our side of it, he can understand now a little bit. I bet that pisses him off as well. I bet it does. I mean, I bet he's not happy. He's like, I came here. We're gonna do it. And he's got it all planned out. I know he does, but I know that this probably makes him mad, and he understands it now. Well, I would have loved to seen the facial expression. Hopefully, somebody recorded that or something. So there's, tape of it or whatever.
He is the type of guy, though, that does know how to play the media, right? So we could see him get creative and start calling schools out like that. Who knows? I don't know. He's
Roger,
very,
you got
very
anything
smart
to say
on that.
about this?
Well, I mean, legitimately, I think.
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't realize you were still there, man. Go ahead.
My apologies. I was just going to say real quick, and then I'll get off the phone. He did say that he has connections in every school in Florida. He said Mike Norvell was his analyst, his first analyst job. Gus hired him, so he's got the connection with Norvell. He said he's really good friends with Dan Mullen in Florida, and he says one of the coaches in Miami, I can't remember the name of the coach, also worked for him. So he said he's going to push on them, and hopefully we can get them to play with us. So I just wanted to throw that in there. I'll get off.
We would love to have a state championship game.
That'd be
between
awesome.
all the, maybe a little tournament or something. It'd be awesome to play those guys, and we love. Thank you, by the way, Tony, for calling. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll jump off. I just wanted to throw that in there for you guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate it, Tom.
Thank you, man. Take it easy. All right, cool. So yeah, if he's got friends, I mean, he's obviously got friends. He's been around for a long time, well connected. I mean, he's got. How many Twitter followers? I mean, he's got a ton. So he had at least more than UCF even had their sports, Twitter. So he's definitely connected. Everybody knows who Gus Malzahn is. I mean, he's probably one of the top 10 football coaches of all time in college football. So maybe not with the accolades of lots of national championships, but at least one, and he did very well at Auburn for a lot of years.
He's certainly top 10 in the country, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, right now.
Right now. I mean, we lucked out. Think about this. I have to put myself back in perspective every once in a while. Think about this. We were complaining. A lot of the fan base was complaining about Josh Heupel. We loved Danny White, obviously. Danny White leaves, takes Josh Heupel with him. Most college programs, especially at our level, that would destroy.
Yeah,
when that happens.
I was upset.
Your
when
athletic
it
director, and I was it too at first, and then I was like, wait a second. Especially when names started coming out.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, wait, this could be like what we've all dreamed of. This could really be something, special. And we traded SEC coaches.
Way up.
Yeah. Big time. All right. We got to take a break. They're cutting me off. We'll see you in a few minutes. Knightline at Night.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
Welcome. This is a promo for the Take a Left at Albuquerque podcast, new to the Knightline Sports Network. You should listen to it. I say things like this. We need to stop blaming Jerry because we would do the exact same thing if we owned the Dallas freaking Cowboys. Do you know how much fun it is to own the Dallas Cowboys? My guests will say things sometimes like this.
It's the Lord of the Flies thing that happens when they don't understand that things are wrong, spoiler alert, until Piggy dies.
Lord of the Flies has been out for like 100 years. I don't even know.
Sorry to everyone at home who I spoiled the book for. A book's been out for like 90 years or something.
And sometimes, rarely though, I'll say really stupid things like this. If they don't make it out of the West and the Raptors get to the finals, I will go on either this show or whoever's show and say that Kawhi Leonard is overrated because I have too much evidence of it. New episodes drop every Friday with me and some of my good friends right here on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline tonight. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw. We're talking about UCF sports, and with that, we need to do our Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week, where we all give you a hot take and talk about some Tijuana Flats. So here we go. Welcome to the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Visit TijuanaFlats.com for takeout or delivery, or visit your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. All right. Well, I love some Tijuana Flats, if y'all don't know. There's nothing better, but they give us the opportunity to do this hot take of the week. I'm going to let Ben start off this week. Go ahead.
All right. I mentioned it earlier in the context of the NFL draft. I do think that this NFL draft, as funny as it is coming off of this 2020 season that was a little bit up and down and disappointing, I think we are going to break the record and have 5 UCF players drafted in this week's NFL draft. And I think the top of that group is going to be Richie Grant.
All right. Okay. All right, Roger, what's yours?
All right, so I'm talking about statues in front of the bounce house. And after the Orlando TD Club's presentation there from Gus Malzahn and everything that I'm seeing in recruiting and otherwise, I'm going to say that Gus Malzahn will leave UCF, preferably in 8 or 9 years, please, with a statue in front of the bounce house. So I'm excited about that. I think he goes up right next to George O'Leary, and hopefully it's a little bit better.
All right, maybe
a long-range hot take. We're gonna wait a decade for that one.
I threw a bomb, bro.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with this year's football team. I'm gonna say our defensive line at UCF will dominate the American. Because it is coming together with transfers and with people coming back from sitting out last year from COVID. Big Cat Brian is coming to the American and to UCF. And if you know anything about Big Cat Bryant and Auburn football the last couple of years, this guy is going to tear the league.
He's ready to wreck it.
He is going to absolutely wreck it. And then with this other guy that is was a freshman All-American last year coming from Western Kentucky. If you can be a freshman All-American at Western Kentucky, imagine what you could do at a school like UCF. Mm-hmm. So having those guys, Tremont Morris Brash as well, our guy that has been around for a couple of years, but has a lot in front of him. It's going to be incredible. So that's mine, and I don't think that that's too hot of a take. I think that that it's very possible. So
this defense, you said it earlier, this defense is really shaping up to be something special in this upcoming season.
It's going to be interesting because really since 2017 was the last time that we had a really, really good defense.
And even to 2017, we gave up a lot of points in certain cases. We relied a lot on turnovers that season.
But it was a spectacular defense.
Right.
They did a lot of things. Shaquem Griffin wrecking stuff, and a couple other guys. So I just feel like that it's going to be something like that. I just think Big Cat is just going to run all over everybody. There's going to be a lot of sacks, I think. I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop him.
Some questions in the secondary, but I think we can clean that up before fall starts. So
we have a good defensive line to stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
And to pressure the quarterback. That's a big deal. All right, so back next week, same time, same place. Go Knights.
Charge on.